You son of a... These teleprompters are just gonzo, folks. They're gonzo. I hate...
So I guess that's where we begin. Donald Trump gave speeches in Wisconsin and in Michigan on Wednesday on his day off from trial. It's perhaps the most unhinged of these speeches we've seen of Donald Trump yet. They get progressively worse. Here, during one of his speeches on Wednesday, he comes up with a word I've never really heard of before. Play this clip.
A smaller version, but it's even more bekakt. Okay? It's even worse. So it's really, it's a terrible thing, but he's going to be rejected there.
So then after struggling to hold his teleprompter or see his teleprompter, coming up with that word, he then sees a plane overhead and he says that the plane is, he gets like freaked out by the plane and then says the plane is China. Play the clip.
And that's what you need, especially with the car industry and all of the other things. I thought that was China. That was a loud plane. That was an old one. Those old ones are a little loud.
And then he starts ranting and raving and saying, I'm not unpopular. I'm not unpopular. I'm not unpopular. I mean, like really demented stuff. Here, play this clip.
These are very unpopular. I'm not unpopular. We had 94%, 95% popularity in the Republican Party. I'm not unpopular. Amazing. I'm not unpopular.
Then he struggles to say the word infrastructure. Play the clip.
Work out too well. $1.2 trillion for their fake infrastructure.
Then he struggles to say the word big. Play the clip.
Our country must be saved. Our country is in big, very dangerous trouble.
Then he says something about man, woman, 4 years ago. I don't even know what he's talking about here. Play this clip.
Man and woman 4 years ago was not forgotten.
Then he blows a kiss to the Republican losing candidate for governor, Tudor Dixon. She had said some horrific stuff before the speech. She was one of the people who spoke before Donald Trump about Gretchen Whitmer, just horrible stuff that she said about Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan. And here's what Donald Trump did. This is kind of gross. Play this clip.
She only says great things about me, so I like her. If she didn't say great things, I wouldn't, but I do. I like her a lot. Tudor Dixon. Tudor.
If you're wondering when Donald Trump's going to talk about things like wages and the economy and provide meaningful policy and talk about veterans and Social Security, what he actually wants to talk about here is that they, referring to, I suppose, I don't know, Democrats, who the Uniparty, whatever, who are they talking about? They want to make you have small windows, he says, small windows. They don't want you to have large windows. Play this clip.
They want your apartments and homes with small windows and every other crazy thing they can think of. They don't want you to have large windows because they're not as good with the sun. Actually, in many cases, they're better.
And then he says that they want to take away your water from your washing machine. Play this clip.
And remember this, they also want to take your gas stoves. They want to give you very little water in your dishwashers and your washing machines. You know, they want washing machines with very little water. And I'm talking about in states like your state, you don't have a water problem. You do have a water problem. You have too much water. They want to take your water out of your washing machines, your dishwashers. They want to put water restrictors on your sinks and showers. You know, I ended all of that. People would buy a new home and they were so proud and they'd say, darling, it's so good. There's only one problem, darling, the sink. No water comes out, like drip, drip, drip. And darling, I have beautiful hair, but I can't do anything because in the shower, the water doesn't come out. Darling, I want to get out of this house. I hate it. And I say to him, take off the restrictor. But now they made the restrictor where you can't take it off unless you have a blowtorch, okay?
I mean, like what? Like what is this? What in the world is this? Here he then, okay, I guess he's talking about the economy. Maybe, no, he's going to say that the fact that President Biden created 15 million jobs and that Trump lost 3 million jobs, that's all fake. He says it's fake. Here, play this clip.
The Biden job numbers are fake. He's counting people coming back from work.
Then he pivots and spends his time attacking Nikki Haley. Play this clip.
Even in South Carolina, I visited where, by the way, we beat the governor by a record number, the former governor. They have a great governor there now, actually.
Then he takes credit and brags that he overturned Roe v. Wade. Play this clip.
Everybody wanted this to be done. Every legal scholar wanted this to be done. Most Democrats wanted it. Liberals wanted it. This was a while ago. Then they changed their mind. They viewed it as a political deal.
He gives a special thanks to the justices who overturned Roe v. Wade, including the 3 he appointed, because it was his intent to overturn Roe v. Wade. Play this clip.
I want to thank the Supreme Court justices for having the courage. Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, John Roberts, Brett Kavanaugh, Neil Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, for the wisdom and the courage to do this. This took a great deal of courage and a great deal of wisdom to do this.
More statements from Donald Trump on overturning Roe v. Wade. Play the clip.
After 50 years, we were able to do that, and now you're seeing it done. Some people will be happy. Some people will be okay. Some people won't be quite as happy. Some will be thrilled.
Then he pivots and he starts defaming E. Jean Carroll, a woman who he was found to have sexually assaulted by a jury. He's found liable and to whom he owes $91 million after being found liable for defamation. Play this clip.
And this is the guy that's ruling on me in New York. And then we have another one in New York who gave someone $91 million because they said I defamed her. Because I said her story isn't true, I defamed her. $91 million. $91 million. Oh, so anyway. Hopefully the appeal process works, because if it doesn't, you just don't have a country. $91 million because I defamed her. Unbelievable. And I didn't.
Then he talks about building a dome over the country. He wants to build an iron dome, he says, over America. Play this clip.
To have. In my next term, we will build a great iron dome, very much like Israel has, but even better. I'm saying, why don't we have that? We should have that too. We have a lot of hostile people out there. We have a lot of bad actors out there. We're going to build the greatest dome of them all. We're going to have.
He then violates the gag order in the Washington, D.C. federal criminal case by talking about Cassidy Hutchinson and calling her a crazy person. Play the clip.
Instead, Debbie, I want to go down there. These people are crazy. And then I think she changed her testimony. You heard that, because the people testified that none of this stuff happened. But a friend of mine said, you shouldn't fight that, because I gained such respect. I didn't know that you were that strong and that tough, that you would take on a black belt in karate or whatever the hell he was. A very tough guy, I can tell you that. There were muscles all over the place, on his ears, on his neck. If I grabbed him around the neck, I'm not even sure he'd feel it. He might not feel it. No, these people are crazy.
He talks about her more. Play this clip.
It's crazy stuff. I sat in the back, and you know what I did say? I said, I'd like to go down there because I see a lot of people walking down. They said, sir, it's better if you don't. I said, well, I'd like to. I'd better if you don't. All right, whatever you guys think is fine. That was the whole time.
And then he finishes off by saying that he told a European country that he would not defend them if Russia invaded, he says. And he says, if you're delinquent in paying, I said that I will not defend you and Russia could invade you. Let me play this clip and then I want to talk to you about it. Play the clip.
Yes, the right way. I remember during a meeting, one of the presidents of one of the European countries stood up, and it was a closed-door meeting. He said, may I ask you a question, Mr. President? Yes. If we don't pay, we're not paid up, and we're attacked by Russia, will you defend us? I said, you mean you're delinquent? You haven't paid? That's right. No, I will not defend you.
And again, Donald Trump doesn't understand how NATO funding works. Also, these European countries are funding their obligations. In any event, Donald Trump's never funded like almost anything. Like, he's habitually delinquent and has bankrupted all the things that he's touched, or most of the things that he's touched in his life. So this is all projection and confession, and just how dangerous of a concept this is to allow an enemy, to allow Russia to invade Europe. And then what? That's how you'll have to then have American soldiers fight when we have to protect our allies. Like what in the world are you talking about here? I mean, it's so dangerous. It's so odd. It's so weird. I just wanted you to see it. Like, if you want to go and watch the full speech in Wisconsin and the full speech in Michigan, you can do that just so you see, am I taking this out of context? No, I'm just showing you basically all of the elements of this speech. It may even be more deranged than what I just showed you. But I think it's important that we see it and look at it, because legacy media or corporate media is not reporting on this. As I've always said, there's really like two types of media. There's like Trump, and then there's MeidasTouch. There's like Trump propaganda media, Fox, Newsmax, OAN, etc. And then there is corporate media, which wants to both sides the issues. And that's why it's important that we do what we're doing here and showing this to you. I don't like to go through and watch these things for hours. Just important that we all know what he's saying, so we can all be informed voters to understand the threats that are being posed. And now you're empowered with that knowledge. What you do with that knowledge, I leave to you, but you're empowered with the knowledge to see what it is he's speaking about. Can't filter it. Just got to show you what he's saying. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.